When you want to face your anxiety by using faith over fear, you know you're going to be including God in the equation, right? And yet, how often are we afraid to bring our anxiety to God as if that's some sort of wrong emotion and we're not supposed to be there? Whatever the case may be, when we're anxious, I know when I'm anxious, the opportunity that we have to take is okay, even now, even when I would have preferred to handle this more smoothly, I'm anxious, I'm worried, I'm unsettled. We have to just be able to admit that. So, really, if we're facing anxiety and we're wanting to use our faith over fear, honestly, if anxiety has gotten really big, it's probably because you have not brought it to God. You have not set down all of this stuff that you feel you must just keep juggling because somehow you got to make it right. You know, the neutralizing that happens in just saying, okay, it's gotten so bad that I'm just at my wit's end. I have to do something different. The neutralizing that happens when we're just able to say, okay, God, I admit it. I've tried my best, and no matter what, this is where I'm at, and it just feels terrible. This anxiety, this worry, and all of those types of emotions. So if we can just say, look, it's a normal experience to be anxious and to be fearful, and then maybe we can also say, and it's just because it's reminding me of maybe something that felt yucky when I couldn't do anything about it. Then that would have been earlier in your life, early in your childhood, and it's just that same feeling. It's, to me, what I'm saying for myself is it becomes this understanding that it's just the same kind of vibration. It immediately puts me back into that mode, but I'm not that person anymore. You're not that person anymore. So we can face our anxiety and use faith over fear, but not in the sense of I trust that God's going to take away my anxiety. I literally feel we have to give it, and at least in my experience, that has happened time and time again when I've finally said, I've been trying to hold on to it and say, I've got this, and being able to say, I don't like this feeling, and that's just where I'm at. God, please help me. So, bringing our faith into the mix and wanting to use faith over fear is actually engaging in the process with God of saying, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't know how to help myself out of this, and saying, please help me. Please help me. And vibrationally and spiritually, we are receiving that kind of adjustment in the way we view things and so forth as soon as we say, I'm willing to see it differently and I'm willing to experience this differently. We will see the changes in ourselves because we have allowed for God's help in that. And that's kind of all behind the scenes. It's invisible to us, but we know it when we've tried it and when we've practiced it. So if you're facing your anxiety and wanting to bring your faith into the mix and allow that faith to dissipate your fear, just know that you've got to start by paying attention to your nagging feeling and just be able to say, I see it. I'm noticing it every time it comes up, and I'm needing your help, God. What is the common denominator? Why are all these different experiences bringing this up in me? And when you start to say, oh, it's because I'm afraid I'm going to be rejected, or it's because I'm afraid I'm being judged, whatever your little generalized fear is, that's totally normal. We each have one. A great book for you to consider, or probably now you can just find it online, but Fearless Living is something that really helped me because the author Rhonda Britton identifies, what are your core fears? These are pretty much the basics that we all face. So definitely, look into that, look on the internet and so forth about core fears, and maybe help yourself to kind of identify. God is always going to help us identify, but sometimes those things like words and so forth that we hadn't considered help us to say, actually, yeah, all of these different experiences all come down to that kind of same theme for me. And when you understand yourself in that, I want you to then say this to yourself. All of these things are making me anxious and bringing me to that yucky feeling that you obviously, you already know and you're trying to avoid from other experiences in your life. And you're like, I don't want to feel that way again. But in those moments, it's actually important for us to step into it, step forward, and be proactive, because what we really want then is balance. We want that sense of, I want to come back to a sense of steadiness for myself. I don't like being all up here, and it's kind of this up here, kind of in our mind, kind of up here, and I want to feel grounded. I want to bring it down to my center. All of those experiences where we're feeling like we're not quite getting a handle on our anxiety are really making us shrink back in some way, either making us shrink or making us stay busy. Oh my gosh, I just got to keep everything going. And in those moments, what we're really ready for, if you can believe this, I want you to know you are ready to expand. You are ready to expand into kind of an even fuller experience that feels even a deeper sense of trust in God and a deeper sense of steadiness from God and with God. So in those times, I hope that you will notice what is that common theme, be able to bring it to God and talk to God about that, and just being able to confess that I feel this way, and I'm afraid of being hurt, or I don't want to feel that yucky feeling. Because as soon as we can give words to that, as soon as we can confess it, we are able to let God help us in just seeing things differently. And it's so hard to explain what can happen, but I'm sure that if you've been trying this, you are going to be able to validate that for yourself. And so sometimes I like to share an intention statement that helps to kind of give you words if it's something that you're struggling with, to come to God and to be able to face your anxiety in maybe a new way that you haven't tried before. So consider this intention statement as kind of that dialogue that might be what you'll say to God in your heart and in your mind. I accept that my anxiety is a sign of resisting the growth that my soul really wants and is ready for. I'm willing to give you, God, my memories of being hurt, so I don't resist this experience out of fear of being hurt again. I trust, God, that my spirit knows the process to expand into greater alignment with you. Please help me to keep coming back to you until I feel better. So just know that we're all going through anxiety. We're all trying to face it in new ways. And we are already talking to God and asking for help. But don't judge this experience as something you're not supposed to feel if you are a believer in and you are trying to live your faith. Trust that the experience continues so that we can commune more and bring it back there to that place of coordinating with God and figuring out how to settle into our experience. And over time, you will find that once you start to give that up, anxiety lessens. It doesn't mean that you won't worry about something or it won't quite, come up to your mind, but you're going to be able to say, there's something unresolved here. And then you're going to come back to God and talk about it and ask for the intuition that will help you to say, oh, I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, that's something that I hadn't really resolved, and either bringing it back to God or resolving it with a person that maybe you need to resolve with. So I really hope that that encourages you today. And if this video has helped you, hit that thumbs up like button, okay? I'll talk to you in the next video, and you take care.